Put my shirt back on for this video. I wasn't expecting to find an absolute masterpiece, an absolute golden opportunity, golden goose egg, talking point here on the internet, but I found it and we're going to talk about it. Check this out. Why Nintendo is actually the best. Um, I, uh, it's funny, you see, because Nintendo is actually the worst. They're actually like, one of the worst corporations on the entire planet, and I hate them with every fiber of my being. So that's why this is kind of ironic and funny. I was watching this and at first I was like, I don't know if I need to make a video on this. And then I was like, oh shoot, I actually need to make a video on this because the because the brainwashing, or the, I don't know if it's brainwashing or if it's cope or if it's, I don't know what it is. There's something wrong with Nintendo fans and I'm scared. While we are here to make fun of this guy, I also just want to point out the fact that he uploaded a video today that's him doing a Breath of the Wild. He's starting a Breath of the Wild playthrough. He doesn't even have a capture card, but he's just raw dogging his footage, and I respect the crap out of that so much. I just like,
I'm looking forward to playing.
I love that. This is like the embodiment of everybody should start a YouTube channel. I believe that so hard in my chest. Everybody should start a YouTube channel and make YouTube videos. We Stay tuned because we're also gonna watch the famous video, I just lost my job, why I'm betting everything on Nintendo. I haven't watched that one yet, so if there's no content in these videos for me to like make a video about, I'm gonna be pissed.
What is up, everybody? It is Corby Nintendo, and today I am coming to you with the truth, the finite truth, which is that Nintendo is the best. Okay, I said it. All right, I said it. Nintendo is purely the best, and you ask me why? Okay, it's because they have the highest prices, and the highest number wins always. No, that's not why.
He almost had it there. Tricked the ass in the first 20 seconds. Not gonna lie.
You can blame that on the economy or something or whatever. But anyway, here's the deal, right? This thing right here, I played on PlayStation. Okay, I grew up with PlayStation, which, by the way, let's be honest, PlayStation, especially, I think, let's see, I was born in '98, and
I know we haven't really even gotten into the video yet, but I love that he's like, oh shoot. I love that he's like, this thing right here. Well, actually, I grew up with an Xbox.
started playing on the thing probably early 2000s. Was there any better time to play on a PlayStation? They had the PlayStation 2. You know what I'm saying? Great. Okay, Sony, they had everything in the palm of their hands. Okay, they had me in the palm of their hands, and then they didn't. You know why they didn't? Because they fumbled the bag. They fumbled the bag, and you can ask Toy Coco here what that means. He's not going to tell you, though, because he's a Funko Pop. But listen, here's the deal.
Why? Why does it feel like he's trying to convince the CIA that Transformers are real in the plot to a new blockbuster Hollywood movie? Why is he... when a character goes, look, here's the deal. They're about to tell you like the most important thing ever and why you need to give them $1 billion in order for their plan to work.
I played on Sony for years, okay? I had the PlayStation. And the problem is, at the end of the day, there's some of us that like continuity, okay? I enjoy continuity. And that's also why I think Nintendo is the best. Who else do you see who's always going to give you at least a sequel or something of the game that you know that you enjoyed before? I don't know, okay? PlayStation, look, I played Ghost of Tsushima, great game. Did I know that it was going to get a sequel? No, absolutely not. You know why I didn't know if it was going to get a sequel? Because I don't know if Infamous is ever going to get another game. I don't know if we're ever going to get a Sly Cooper. I don't know if we're going to get a... you know exactly what I'm talking about, and that's the whole point. Okay.
This is actually kind of a good point. What the fetch is up with all these old games? Like Sony's and Microsoft are both sitting on like a giant pile of stuff that they could be doing, and they're not doing anything with it. On the other side of the fence, though, sometimes it's good to let like a good franchise have its run and then it's over. And then you have room for a new franchise. Little Big Planet was the mascot for a while, and now it's Astrobot, and that's really, really cool. Now, it's incredibly important, I think. I should be able to play Sly Cooper on my PlayStation. Wait, I gotta fact check myself before I turn myself into the clown of the hour. Okay, so I can play Sly Cooper on my PlayStation 5 actually. It's actually included in my subscription. What's not playable on my PlayStation 5 is Infamous, which is really funny that they still we're 2 generations ahead of the PS3 and we still cannot figure out how to play PS3 games on modern hardware. Oh man. Also just looked up Little Big Planet on the PlayStation Store, and it's not actually available right now, which is infuriating, but you can get a physical copy because they did release Little Big Planet 3, but they also shut down the servers, and I think there was some legal issues there, and that really sucks really bad. We should still have Little Big Planet in our society. The Sackboy is one of my favorite mascots, but, you know, it is what it is. Going back to the point that he's making here, though, about getting, like, all sorts of other sequels or whatever, you know what Nintendo did do? Is they did take Metroid and they, like, destroyed it. And then they destroyed it again. And then after that, they destroyed it again. What? Whoa! You know what they did to Star Fox? We're not gonna get you're not getting no more Star Fox for you, pal. Oh, jeez. Sorry, man. They've destroyed that one too. They're burning bridges. Nintendo doesn't have like as strong of a syndrome of destroying old franchises as other companies do, but they've got it. They will do it, and they will do it Also, you're never gonna see that Twilight Princess remake. Just pirate it. Just pirate it.
Okay, Sony has broken their universe even. Okay, do you remember exclusives? Do you know what that means? No, probably not. And guess what? In like for 3 more years, nobody's gonna know what that means, except for people who play on Nintendo, because Nintendo is the only one with a sealed timeline. What does that mean? Let's get into it. Today, I'm talking about my Nintendo universe theory.
Everybody still knows what exclusives are. They still exist. Hot take here, and I would love to hear other opinions about this, but just because a game is on your console and also available to people that play on PC, I would still call it an exclusive. It's not a console exclusive, but it is exclusive to you. It's a Sony exclusive title. Maybe it runs better on PC, and I think it's great that we have the opportunity to play it on PC, but it's still like a Sony game. It's crazy that Halo's coming over to Sony. I don't know anything about what's going on there.
Look, Nintendo is actually a freaking deity. Well, not really a deity, but it's more like, it's like the Force. Nintendo is like the Force. And the company here that we have on this little planet, this little green and blue ball, it's just the interaction. Yeah, why not, right?
Okay, I actually don't know what to say about. I don't know what the fetch is going on in the video anymore, dude. Let's just jump back into it.
That's a bunch of crazy stuff, but anyway, no, really, what it is the fact that Nintendo has exclusive games. Okay, you have Mario, you have Luigi, you have, you have The Legend of Zelda, you have Metroid. Okay, we have all these incredible games on Nintendo, first-party games on Nintendo, and then you have third-party games, right?
Third-party games on Nintendo? I thought the only third-party games from Nintendo were games that came out last generation running at worst frame rates and resolutions. I thought that was like their whole deal ever since the Wii U. Isn't that like their whole thing?
Still has first-party games. Xbox has left the chat, but we are looking at a seriously crazy time for Nintendo. I think it's awesome. I've been stoked about it pretty much every day of my life. I listen to Nintendo music every day. I use the Nintendo Today app. If you don't know what these things are, go look them up and start using them. It's worth your time. It's worth your money. It's buy more stock. Buy it all. Anyway,
This is the Alex Jones of Nintendo fanboys, and I'm I'm afraid. Why are you using the Nintendo Today app? You don't need to. You don't need that. Nothing's happening today in Nintendo. They didn't release any. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just a corporation, man. They. I love the sentiment that, like, these corporations would run this guy over with like a bulldozer if it meant that their stock prices would go up by a thin margin, but they would. They would do that. And it's sad because this guy is obviously very passionate about a mega corporation that does not care about him, and good for him, I guess. I just it makes me sad because there's so much more to his life than the uh Iwata did not die for this. You know, Reggie didn't die for this. Reggie didn't die.
no, here's the deal, right? One of the biggest things for me on PlayStation, the whole reason as an adult, I took my adult money and was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a PS4 Pro and I'm going to get an extra controller with it. And I'm just going to go all in because I like to have one thing. I like to have one continuity, man. Which, by the way, the people out there who are like, oh, I have all of them. That's great. How do you play all of them at the same time? Can you tell me? And even if you can, I don't know why I would want to spend that much money on multiple devices that I'm not going to dedicate at least enough time to justify that. So I'm out. I'm out on that, which is why one ecosystem, that's all we need, baby. That's all we need. We need one ecosystem, and that's it. And that's what we have with Nintendo. Let's take a look at PlayStation real quick. There's no editing in this video.
I wonder how he knew that there was going to be no editing before he made that joke. I think he might be clairvoyant.
Help you visualize it. The PlayStation systems are absolutely awesome in terms of PlayStation was once a company that was like, yo, you, that's right, you, 12-year-old, you want to be 17 years old, right? Hey, old guy, 24-year-old, 30-year-old, 35, you want to be 17, right? And that worked. I think it worked because it made everybody feel like, yo, I am perfectly just cool. I think it worked for a while. Here's the problem, is that Sony tends to shoot themselves in the foot. That's right. They shoot themselves in the foot. After they've shot their foot off, they look and see they still have another foot, and they go, what the? And they shoot the other one off until they notice they still have ligaments, and so on and so forth. Right? They've done it multiple times on the absolute crazy monstrosity of success that was the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 3 came out, and you can go do research on that if you want to do that. That was crazy. And sure enough, are we not living in the same time again with the PlayStation 5? Is this not the same thing where the PlayStation 4 had good success, and now look, PlayStation 5, power. Hey, since you just spent $500 on this system, which by the way, now it's $550, although right now for the holiday deals, they have it down at $450, which is so nice. It's so nice.
That last part scared me a little bit. I didn't know when to cut back because you said a lot of things there. First off, the PlayStation 2 is a product of its time. The reason that it felt like it was super 17-year-old big brother energy, older brother energy, is because everything was that back in the day. Mountain Dew, Doritos. Mountain Dew nowadays is all like, hey, what's up? It's Mountain Dew. It's all like super. Mountain Dew back in the day was like. Xbox, the whole Xbox brand at the time was trying to be like this super uber cool radical thing. The GameCube was also trying to be that thing. And the GameCube, oh my gosh, dude. That whole console generation, we had struck gold. We had it all. Everything was perfect. He talks about like the PlayStation 5 Pro comes out right. It's true. The PlayStation 5 Pro came out too soon, but also who cares? Nobody cares about the PlayStation 5 Pro. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's something that's there as an option. It'd be cool if there was a cheaper option. It's funny that he mentions that the prices went up, but actually the prices went down, and I'm going to make a video about that, talking about how nobody talks about the good things that happen in the industry. Sony lowers their prices. They take $100 off. It's only $50 lower than the original, which is fair. It's not that much going down like from the original pricing, only $50, but it went down when every single other company right now is raising their prices. Sony took they took a step back and they said, "Let us lower our prices. Considering all the financial turmoil, we're going to take $100 off." And nobody cares. Nobody's been talking about it. I don't understand why that's like not a bigger point of discussion. When Xbox started to raise their prices, when the Switch 2 announced their prices, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity, even if it's just by $1. Even if Sony just lowered their price by $1, it would be perfect, because they would still be showing like, hey, we are still trying to be pro-consumer. And at this point, like, yeah, even though it's just $50, it's still them trying to make an effort and say, we are trying at least to be as much as a pro-consumer company. It's very cool. Thank you, Sony. Uncommon Sony W. Oh, and then he also started mentioning like we're living in the same timeline as the PS4, and it's like, okay, that's great. The PS4 started out slow, and then it became the greatest console of that generation. The PS3 started out slow, and then it became a landmark console that generation, and it beat out Xbox 360 in the end. I don't know what you want from me. I don't think it beat out in sales, but like I think in the games, most people would agree that the PS3 won the console war late in that generation. It's also probably because 343 got a hold of Halo, and Halo 4 was the worst game ever made.
After you spend that money, right? Okay, which who knows? It might change. It might change. I hope it does for them, for the better. They've already lost my money, but
This is a long video.
then it's like, hey, you want to buy a streaming tablet that's $200 with DualSense controllers on the end of it? Do you want to buy an accessory for the $500 thing that you just bought? How about some cool headphones? What about some earbuds? You want to do that? Oh, hey, you look like you could use more DualSense controllers. Oh, did you get stick drift? I bet you did. Probably buy more controllers. I don't know. It just feels like the games are not the focus anymore for Sony.
Nintendo released a camera for their new console. Shut the fetch up. Do you remember when the Nintendo Switch came out and they announced the price of a new dock, and it was like $100 for a piece of plastic with an HDMI port? He brings up stick drift, and it's like, Nintendo had a lawsuit over it. What are you talking about? Do you want to buy some accessories for your gaming console? Yeah, I kind of do actually. I kind of want to like have options about how to customize my experience with it. You can have some the earbuds actually look kind of cool. I wouldn't spend that much money on them, but it's cool that they're an option, that there's a premium option there. I like whatever. Fetching. Do you want to? How about this? Do you want to play your Switch with a normal controller? I bet you do. $80 for a Pro controller, or is it $90 for a Pro controller too? This one is $100. It's a Resident Evil Requiem edition. Wait a second. $100. The Switch 2 controller sucks, by the way. I don't like it.
I've had the Switch 2 for like 3 or 4 months, maybe. don't know, maybe longer than that. But anyway, the whole point is, right, Nintendo has something that nobody else seems to have anymore, and it's exclusives. And with the Nintendo Universe theory that I brought up, the idea is that if you're like myself and you enjoy stories and you enjoy continuity and you enjoy almost kind of like like cinematic universe kind of stuff, where it's like, oh, this game takes place, and then there's this game and there's this game. Well, what if they were all connected? What if they were all one thing, brought together by the fabric of the universe? Yeah, well, I kind of like that stuff. So initially, when I was on PlayStation, I thought, oh, hey, well, I played God of War, I played Ghost of Tsushima, and I thought, oh, maybe this is the PlayStation universe. It's the PlayStation world. All of these things connected to create one super awesome, mega, fan-inspiring entity. Yeah, I did that for a while. But the problem was initially not that anything was wrong with those games. It was more so the fact that Sony started porting them to PC. I'm just going to say it. Look, at the end of the day, if you're playing some Sony games on PC, I'm happy for you, man. Okay? Good for you. Okay? But at the time, as a PlayStation fan, it was kind of upsetting because it was like, hey, you remember when we told you that you could get games that nobody else can play on this exclusive device that we made you pay for in order to play those games when you play them? Yeah, we're gonna take all those games now, pretty much, and even future games, and we're just gonna share them with people with these, let's be honest, superior devices, and we're still gonna tell you it's gonna play better on the PlayStation. Even though that guy over there has like the newest graphics card and is playing it almost at like realistic visual levels.
I don't know really what he wants. I it's bad that I've got it paused and he's just looking at me over here. I don't understand why it's so bad that PC players have access to his games. What's so wrong with that? Oh no, PC players can play games and they can play all these awesome games that I've been enjoying. I feel devalued now. I feel like Sony's they scammed me. They're going to give it over to them? No. Not the games that I've already played. The whole point of consoles is not that it's a great device. The point of consoles is that it's a cheaper device. Again, Sony knows this. PlayStation 5 start at $400 now, which is great. That's awesome. A PlayStation 4 plays a lot of great games still, and you can find those things for a pocket full of lint and buttons, actually. Why would you feel betrayed? They're just making the games available to more people. Somebody bought a... Do you want computers? Do you want PC players to not have any games? Is that what you expect? Should PC have exclusives as well that don't ever get to console? I don't know what you really want here. More people can play more games the way that they want to. Isn't that a win? This guy probably hates Gabe Newell.
So that's the thing. When that happened, I was just kind of like, okay, so then why don't I just get a PC? And here's why I didn't. Because ultimately, I like a little console. You know what I'm saying? I like a little console. And I think if I got a PC, I would end up like turning it on, getting ready to play. And then I'd get distracted. I'd probably turn on YouTube, watch videos, and then be like, hey, I wonder how you're supposed to use Microsoft Office. I've never done that before. And then I just wouldn't end up playing my games. So as a gamer, right, I'm like, I need something that's focused on gaming. And this is it, man.
I'm actually stun locked. I like playing games on a console. That's what. But why the fetch can't I play my games on a console? I have to play them on PC now. If I want to have the most lifelike graphics, he says they're gonna have like lifelike graphics on PC. What the fetch does he think gaming is anymore, man? Look at him. You can see the like radio waves coming off of the Switch 2 to melt his mind.
This is definitely it. Okay. The truth of the matter is, with the Nintendo Universe theory, let's go ahead and like clarify exactly what I'm talking about here. With the Nintendo Universe theory, here's the pitch. Okay, this is how I see things. You have exclusives, right? Those are obviously part of that core universe. Same way that PlayStation has Ghost of Tsushima, if you can even call them exclusives anymore. And God of War, those would be part of the same universe, right? On Nintendo, we have Mario. So we have the Mushroom Kingdom, we have Metroid, Samus traveling through space, we have The Legend of Zelda, Link fighting Ganon for the billionth time, right? All of these events taking place. However, to make things more interesting, and this technically can work for whatever you're playing on, okay? But this is a Nintendo fan channel, so we're talking about Nintendo. I guess it's not really a fan channel. It's more like this is a channel run by a Nintendo fan, so that's what I'm talking about. But here's the deal. The way I see it, right? Here's a good example. A couple days ago, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade actually released. There was a demo released on the eShop for the Nintendo Switch 2. If you haven't played it, go play it. It's awesome. It's very good. But let me clarify. I don't see these third-party games that show up, especially now that Nintendo has created the Switch 2 and now the hardware is there for these companies to kind of port some of these bigger, more graphic games. Guys, we're not just sitting here waiting for ports, okay? First of all, Nintendo has enough games already. The amount of games that Nintendo has first-party is insane. It's actually ludicrous. It blows my mind, marbles. What I'm talking about is the fact that ultimately, the best way to see this, if you are also a Nintendo fan like myself, don't worry, we don't have FOMO. FOMO is for people without a Nintendo, to be honest. What we're looking at is the fog of war clearing up to unveil these other universes. Not other universes, but these other games, these other galaxies, you could say. These timelines taking place in the Nintendo realm. So, for example, if you're like a lore nut like I am, and you're just like, oh, but I like to think that everything's interconnected. Basically what I'm saying is, with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade coming to Switch 2, we're not getting PlayStation's sloppy seconds, okay, because it was an exclusive for them for a while, which, again, hello, drop the bag. What we're looking at is in the Nintendo universe, the same universe as Mario and as Zelda and as Metroid and Star Fox and Donkey Kong, and I could probably name so many more. Pokemon? I'm not going to name any more. I might. I don't know. We're looking at uncovering even more of this grand Nintendo universe, where these characters are coming into play and becoming part of the Nintendo world. All this to say that ultimately, if you are thinking about getting a Nintendo, whether it's the Switch or the Switch 2, or hey, even going and getting one of the older consoles, we're talking Wii U, Wii, and just anything, just do it. Do it. Dive in. You should do it 100%. Okay? That's what I'm saying. That's what you should do. You should do that right now, actually. You should pull out your wallet and get on the website and type in, I want 5,000 Switch 2s and 200 Switches. Do that right now. Go buy those things because they're totally worth it. And ultimately, if you need somebody to play with, I am here. I will be here forever because Nintendo has infused me with life energy that will now make me outlive everyone I know. So if you enjoyed watching this video and you resonated with anything I said, that would be pretty cool. And I think it would be even cooler if you told me that in the comments. And you were like, hey, this really resonated with me. In the comments. Like the video, please. I want to quit my job so bad. Not really. I actually don't want to quit it that bad. I definitely want to quit, just not that bad. But you should like the video and subscribe. That would really help too. Thank you so much for your time. It's only been like 14 minutes. I'm going to wait until 14 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, I waited for it, and now we're here. Anyway, listen, once again, thank you very much. I'm going to make videos more often. If you actually are here at the end of this and you're like, hey, wait a second, what happened to that whole thing you were doing before with the episodes? Listen, here's the deal. I have big brain with big dream, and big dream need big money. And me don't have big money. So me have to work on big dream later when big money shows up. And that will get done later. So in the meantime, this is what we're doing, okay? This is the experience I'm gonna have with you guys. And I'm so happy to be here. I am Corby Nintendo. You are viewing this video and liking it and commenting on it and subscribing. And thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye. Bye. But no, you hang up. Get off of my phone.
We still have another 30-minute video to get through. It's 1 in the morning. Sorry. This video feels so weird to watch because at the end he starts talking about how you should go and buy like 1,000 Switches, and it's like, why do you want me to buy 1,000 Switches? What are you gonna gain from this? Did he find out that Doug Bowser retired and he's like, I bet if I make a YouTube channel, I can get in there. I can get in, they'll hire me instead. Or is it like actually just like layered satire? I don't understand what's going on. Okay, now we can watch I Just Lost My Job, why I'm betting everything on Nintendo.
What is up, everybody? Corby Nintendo here, and a couple of disclaimers before I get started. One, I'm kind of sick, so I'm going to cough a little bit, and as I've mentioned before, I'm not really in the editing phase of this channel, so, you know, do what you will with the awkward silence, but sorry to hear. Yeah, I usually delay my decision to like, okay, I'm gonna make a video based on my seemingly increasing amount of, I don't know, I have like a natural endless supply of self-doubt about whether or not I'm doing anything here. But, you know, against the odds of whatever's going on upstairs here, I've decided to go ahead and do this tonight. So, wherever you are, I hope you're having a good time. And, you know, tonight I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about basically what's going on in my life, because I think something I have connected with over the last, I want to say 24 hours, after mind-numbingly just straight up, I don't know, binging YouTube videos. I've been watching, you know, some podcasts and stuff, and hearing creators talk about creating and things like that. I actually wanted to go ahead and bring some authenticity to the Corby Nintendo channel. As to be entirely honest, I think that my original intentions of this made it feel a bit too, well, I mean, I don't think it's felt any certain way for you guys other than a blank sheet of paper with nothing written on it, because I'm overthinking everything and I can't just seem to hit record and talk to you guys. So we're just gonna go ahead and break the barrier here, and I'm gonna go ahead and you know, tell you guys about what's been going on in my life. And yeah, so first things first, it is 2026. Happy New Year, everybody. Well, I don't really know if there's any technical rules that I have to worry about making this. I don't think so, because I've gone ahead and Googled and I'm seeing headlines, so it's not like it's, I mean, it's public information, obviously, but so just a little, you know, catch-up session with me. I have been working at a GameStop store for the past, I want to say, I guess 9-10 months.
Feels so bad for him now, actually. Everything makes sense now. Now that I know that he was working at GameStop. I've never worked at GameStop, but I've seen people working at GameStop, and I can only imagine that it will degrade your mental fortitude. You know, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for everything that's happened to you. Sounds like he lost his job. He's probably going to tell us about that in a second. I'll shut up.
Yeah. I originally went to work at the store that I have been working at because I think the job before that, I don't remember what I was doing, but I know I was door dashing, and I was having a time management issue, which is funny because it's like I was responsible for that. And I was just like, well, I still don't know how to go door dashing and make money and then tell myself when to stop so that I can do content, because I really think I want to do this, specifically about Nintendo, because I've got a big old dream or whatever. And, I might tell you guys about that later.
His dream is to be the next Reggie of Nintendo. I guarantee it. He wants to say well, that's all the time that I've got. I've got to go back to playing Star Fox 64 3D on my Nintendo 3DS. Bye-bye.
Excuse me. But basically, I have been working there the last, about 10 months. It's almost been a year this time around. And I am the assistant manager there. And as the assistant manager, I guess it's a full-time position. And so part of that was that they had me off for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And so I didn't have to work either of those days. Felt really weird. Actually, this year, I felt like the year just kind of flopped over from 2025 to 2026. Just nonchalantly. And I was just like, oh, hey. I think I was actually 6 minutes late realizing that midnight had rolled over. And I was playing some games, I think, and I went, oh, it's the New Year's. And for some reason, the fireworks outside didn't seem to, I guess, faze me and make me realize, oh, hey, But anyway, my point about bringing that up is to start the new year, I went to my store on, I think that was a Friday, January 2nd of this year, and 15 minutes before I was about to open the doors, I had been notified by one of my higher-ups that they were closing my store, like, officially. And so I was like, okay, that's crazy. Just realizing I forgot to mention why I work there is because ultimately Nintendo products are in the store, and I thought I'd like to be in an environment close to that. And now we're caught up enough.
I was like this close to being invested in the story, and then he mentioned that he just wants to be next to the Nintendo products, and now I'm sucked right back out again. It sucks though. It sucks that he works for GameStop. It sucks that they tell them they were closing your store because we're GameStop and we hate you. GameStop is the fetching worst, dude. Gee whiz, man. They've got a great PR team. They've got a great social media presence. With the Game Awards and everything that they just did. That was super, super cool. Great job, GameStop. They're self-aware. But also, the company itself is still a company, and I hate them. Evil corporation.
My first shift back, 15 minutes before the doors are supposed to open, I learn, okay, I don't know what's going on anymore. And I've got, I'm looking at some headlines here, seeing, there's already some local articles, I guess, about some of the stores closing. I'm seeing one from 8 hours ago saying hundreds of stores amid retail shakeup from Yahoo Finance. To be fair, I don't really read any articles. Sorry. But, I read headlines and, I'm just like, oh, okay, so people are talking about it. Yeah, so it's been pretty crazy the last couple of days because initially our store, I had imagined that we were going to close the store by keeping it open, and then when it was closed, there'd be like time afterwards, like, okay, pack everything up and send it off. They don't do liquidation anymore. And instead it was like the day I learned about it was the first day back. And then the day after, I got another call, and they were like, you can go ahead and start shipping stuff out. Essentially, like, you can start gutting the store. And, yeah, so that was immediately the process that we started getting into. And over the last couple of days, while we have been doing that, I have just kind of been thinking, like, what does this mean for the plan that I had? Like, what am I going to do next? And ultimately, considering the fact that I just continuously put on hold any any absolute, just the sheer amount of inspiration that I have to do this, um for the sake of like being scared that, like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't do well, or something like that, which I don't know. It's probably not crazy, but I always think too much. Being in this position and seeing that the channel, based on the stuff I had already started doing, and seeing it kind of grow, and seeing you guys interact with me in the comments section, which I really appreciate, and it's very encouraging. Knowing how tiny I am, I guess, and knowing that, like, Nintendo is the thing I'm doing here, that brought into question for me, like, okay, so if I went to GameStop as a stepping stone to just give myself the 9 to 5 experience, to get the check, maybe be a part of the company in some aspect to try to move up or something, just have some general ambition to try to propulse myself forward into a dream I have. And now that's not really going to be there. I was just kind of like, I don't even know where to go. And as part of the motivation for this video, it's really just me coming to you guys and telling you, hey, I want to be really clear about what it is that I'm doing here, so that way if you stumble upon it and you want to support me, I would love to have it. Absolutely. And then also just so that way you guys can kind of know, like, I guess what I'm about, and maybe being a little more transparent about the parts of my life that don't always have, like, the Nintendo seal of quality on it. Let that mean whatever you think it means. But, yeah, I'm just kind of in a spot now where I'm like, I really don't know what's next. Part of me is excited. I am the kind of person who actually enjoys change. I enjoy change when it's happening. I often am I overthink too much to cause change. I will often be somebody who reorganizes things into how they were or are, and I'm not one to unsettle things. But for some reason, when things get unsettled, I'm not necessarily scared, and like at this point, it's like, okay, do I even have a job? I don't know. But it's one of those things where it's like, it just means there's the next chapter. And I guess the reason, especially that I'm making this video, is because it is 2026. I turned 27 in December, and I don't know how long I can get away with telling myself that I'm still young. Which the video that I watched prior to this was a short on my phone of, is it too late for me to become a content creator? Which kind of tells you where my headspace is, and that I'm like, yeah, I'm 27, and most of the successful people I've seen in content creation, or at least the ones that I kind of have admired or paid attention to their stuff, yeah, they kind of like, they were in the boom, the internet boom, the 2010s, just the timeline that was like, hey, this is the thing now. And all these people who are in it, yeah, they're doing it. And, it's a little shaky for me when I'm thinking like, well, I know that it's possible for anybody to do this. But now in my mind, there's this thing in the back where it's like, but is it possible for me? Is it possible for me with what I want to do with this Nintendo thing? And then it just kind of gets worse, and it's like, well, is anything that you originally wanted to do possible for you at all? And now I'm getting to that point where it's like, maybe this means you give up and just pick something else easier. Just pick something easier, something that's like, oh, you know how it would all work out. You know exactly how the movie would go if you just took this path. And I think that is what I've kind of wrestled with my entire life, which is why, if I can remember correctly, I actually started wanting to do content creation probably in like 2020. So we were already 6 years away from when the thought entered my mind that I was like, actually, I do want to do this. I want to find a way to do this.
I'm 12 minutes into the video now, and I actually am not sure what to be saying here. More than anything, I wish the guy the best of luck. What he's talking about here is honestly very inspirational, and if you've gotten the sense that I'm just a hater, that's fair enough, I guess, but I'm not just a hater. What he's talking about, like losing your job, and then you decide, well, where do I go from here? And you can go anywhere. That's a big and daunting decision to make, and it's easy to get kind of dogpiled by that and forget your dreams. And it's cool that he's deciding, you know what, I still want to do what I want to do. Corby, if you listen to this, please drop the Nintendo thing. The main reason I say that is just because I don't think that there's a market for it right now. There's the YouTubers that have already made Nintendo channels, and they all have their own shtick, and they do it really well. But I don't think that there's more market or there's more viewership being pumped into that just because of where Nintendo's at currently. Keep making YouTube videos though, and keep doing what you want to do, because making YouTube videos is something that I think everybody should do. And I'm really happy to see that he's still making YouTube videos. Anyways, I don't know. We'll see where the next 15 minutes takes us.
And maybe a couple attempts here and there, but nothing that just stuck me into like, okay, cool, this is something I do now. Let me just go ahead and keep doing it. And so I'm like, okay, well, great. So I don't really, now with this situation in my life happening in real time, I'm like, okay, cool. So we're running out of time, or at least we feel like. We're running out of options, really, because I didn't go to school. I didn't. I got my my diploma from high school and immediately just went to work because I was like, one, I don't really want to have any student loans, and I just don't think that I don't want to mess with that. And then two, it was like, at the time I graduated, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I have no idea. Again, not the kind of person who wants to go and dismantle or unsettle anything, typically. But now I'm kind of like, okay, well, this has been on the back burner forever at this point. 6 years isn't forever, but it feels like forever. And a lot has happened in my life. I mean, there's just a lot of things I've had happen in my life. I guess I'll be transparent about it. I've had deaths in the family. Just people close to me that, had I invested the time earlier on and really just stuck to what I was like, I want to do this, and I didn't let any of those thoughts get in my way, I would be able to, one, probably be successful in the way that, I'm doing it, and maybe it's becoming more than just the hobby, and it's becoming part of my life. And two, I would be able to share that with them. But that is not ever going to be an option anymore. And that's not to say that I, continually throw this dread onto myself and I'm always in a state of like, well, it's too late, even though I literally have opened up with the fact that there's this too late mentality. That's kind of a different thing. It's more like, hey, is there even a point in me trying if all these other people... And of course, anytime you look this up, there's just an astounding, overwhelming, like, no, it's not too late, yada yada. But I think if you are also a content creator who's just starting, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know how tough it is. And I'm not saying those people that say, no, it's not too late, that they don't understand. I think they do perfectly understand. But I think it's very tough for people, especially nowadays, to take encouraging advice from someone relatively, just not relative to them. It's like I'm trying to get encouragement from videos that I know that I'm going to find on the internet telling me that I can do what I want to do on the internet.
I've said this before. If your goal with making a YouTube video is to get famous and make money, don't make that YouTube video. It's not worth it, and it won't make you happy, and it's not a good thing to do. We've forgotten the beauty of YouTube. We've forgotten the magic of YouTube is that anybody can make anything on here. Um, it's what he's talking about. And what it's interesting what he mentioned too is like there's people that say like, no, it's not too late. You can still look at what I've done. You can still get famous on the internet. And it's like that happens to a very small percentage of people that can actually make content creation into a gig. What's even harder though is trying to make content creation into a gig when your content is something that people aren't already watching. I could go and make like a bunch of like mall vlogs where I go and prank people at the mall, and I could put those on TikTok, and I could put all the stupid subtitles, and that could look really cool, and then it would probably do really well on TikTok if I did stuff like that. But that's not the content that I want to make. The content that I want to make is radically different from what people are watching right now, and there probably isn't an audience for it. I like making YouTube videos, so I do it sometimes. I don't think that I should aim for this to be a job. I don't think that it's really a very wise decision for somebody to say, I'm gonna make YouTube videos and I want content to be my job. I don't think that that leads to happiness or fulfillment, and I don't think that it leads to financial stability most of the time. Statistically speaking, it doesn't. If that's what you're gonna do, then that's great. I wish you the best of luck. But always try and have your mentality when you're making a YouTube video. I want to make a YouTube video because I just want to make a video. I want to make something, and that's gonna be your ticket to happiness. That's the golden ticket right there to actual fulfillment when you're making a video. It's so satisfying to put that up and then look at it and you're like, I made that. I liked that. Not that I would know. Most of my videos are garbage.
That's just one of those things where it's like, if it's expected, it doesn't feel special. That's where I kind of sit with it. But one of the things for sure, though, is remembering that there are opinions and then there's facts. And right now, what I'm working with is my own opinions, and that I almost just don't have enough belief in myself or really in anything of this nature that shows to me that I can do this and that people would support me in this venture. And that I don't even know how to put it into words, but with the facts, I have nothing. And so all that I can do is at least say to myself, well, hey, opinions are wrong, and they're not wrong, but they can be, is what I meant to say. Opinions can be wrong. And so if the opinions that I have right now are just an obstacle to me achieving something that's a dream, it's probably not going to hurt me in disregarding my own negative opinion about something that could be the make or break of changing my life and doing the thing I want to do. And I realize that this
I gotta go to the bathroom. Future me, edit this out. Ah, yes.
It's almost, my brain just kind of shoots out. So it's like maybe I'm straying off from something I literally just said we were going to talk about 10 minutes ago. But hey, I'm trying to do the thing at this point. So I do want to try to tie it back in to the original reason that I was like, you know what, I'm going to pop out my camera and I'm going to talk about the life situation and also some things that I think are really, really important for me this year. For anybody who's also kind of, you understand what I'm saying. Maybe you're going through something similar. Number one, actually, I probably shouldn't number them because then I'll just forget which number we're on. But that could be fun. So number one, just do it. That's what I'm going to do this year. Just going to do it. I'm going to basically start creating content for you guys about the stuff that I like, and that happens to be Nintendo. And over the course of all these pieces of content, I will continue to tell you why I like Nintendo, why I don't shoot me, or you can, whatever. I don't necessarily always disagree with their business practices, because ultimately, I think there's going to be a lot that we can discuss and talk about through the course of these videos, because there is a disconnect, which I also want to touch on, between the gamers who play the games from these companies and the companies themselves. But there is hope, because there is a way for us to have a middle ground between us and them so that things are a little bit better. Not just because maybe they give us everything they want. I don't think that's the solution. I think that would initially just end everything that we enjoy about the things we like. But also us understanding maybe some of the things that go into the decisions that these companies make. Because at the end of the day, companies are just groups of people working together to produce and generate revenue for the sake of, this is the point of business, making money.
I can't tell him to not make videos about Nintendo. Do what you want, man. Fetching, make your videos. Have fun making videos about Nintendo. What he's mentioning here, though, like about the whole companies and the relationship between companies and consumers, starting to get interesting. I did not expect this. In this video, I didn't expect any of this. I haven't said a lot. We're almost done with this last video here. I haven't said a lot because it hasn't been a lot to mention. If you want to watch this whole video, then of course, go and do so. But it's not at all like the other one. It's just been a lot of him talking about his own life and his own, desire to make content. Very cool stuff, actually. I appreciate the honesty that he's got here. Hope the best for him. I'm waiting for him to start saying Nintendo can do no wrong. There's nothing ever that Nintendo has ever done wrong again, and you should buy 1 million Nintendo Switch 2s. Because when he says that, then I'm going to be singing a different tune, because don't buy from Nintendo, okay? You can't. I'm a bad person.
The greatest businesses are the ones that make money, but also can afford to create an experience for the people that they are doing business with, despite the money having to be a main priority.
All right, you lost me. Nintendo is only concerned with money. So they're developers. They've got very talented developers. But Nintendo as a company, as a corporation nowadays, they really are only concerned with money. They develop their games for dirt cheap, so their profit margins, no one will ever take me seriously.
That's why I think ultimately I have to cheer Nintendo on, or I'm hoping to cheer Nintendo on this year, because they already have experiences outside of the gaming console ecosystem that it just feels like they're trying to do something. I don't know what it is, I think that they are trying to create experiences that allow us to step into the magic of the history that they have created over the last, what is it, 40 years, basically. But the big thing, and I'll go ahead and wrap it up because I don't know how many people are, in the mood to watch some dude who's, I don't know. It's been 20 minutes, but ultimately, I just wanted to pinpoint the fact that with GameStop closing, and I'll leave you with this, and I probably won't go into too much of it later because ultimately this is something I don't, being that it's a problem in my life, I don't really want to focus on too much because I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I mean, I know that I can take control of my life, obviously, and I'll be able to go wherever. I'm not worried about, I'm going to land on my feet. I'm going to be fine. But this is happening. GameStop is closing more stores. My store is one of them. My future with the company, I don't know if there is one. If there is, I don't know what it looks like. And if there isn't one with the company, I don't know what it looks like, what solution that I've come up with that works out, and me still having the motivation and, to do this. All I know is, like I said, the first thing, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And yeah, I lost my train of thought there, but I think I'll find it on the track somewhere. The thing is, at the end of the day, I would like to know that I gave it my best shot doing this and going for it. Yeah, I don't even see the number thing that I said. Right now, I'm like totally like, did I have a number 2 thing to say? That's why I'm like, I don't think I can do lists. I'm not very good with lists. But besides all that, the dream that I have, and I want to make this clear, is that the whole reason I started this channel was because for years I've kind of been testing Nintendo for myself. I've been playing on it because I had a bad taste left in my mouth playing on PlayStation. And that bad taste actually pushed me to Xbox, which I really, really wanted to get into. I was actually really excited. But I think, as you all know, Xbox is basically like, I'm sorry, just going to say it, Microsoft, destroying itself. I don't know that it's a platform anymore, more than it is the equivalent of Netflix. So there was really only one place left for me to go, and that was Nintendo. And in the experience that I have had going from PlayStation, trying Xbox for the short time that it felt like it had a life to offer me, to Nintendo, my life has just been extremely different. It's been filled with more positivity. It's been enough to motivate me to think, you know what I would really, really love to do. And this is my goal. And I want to see exactly how far maybe I can make it this year. Although somebody told me the other day, and this is just how I'm going to think forever. I think it was my sister. She was like, the funny thing though is like, calendars are man-made, so really there's like no new year. It's just another day. So, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's a good point. So, I guess really, whatever. Sorry, I thought I would just tell you that. My goal, basically going forward, whether it happens this year or later or whenever, the reason I am doing this is because I genuinely believe that Nintendo has given me multiple experiences in life through their games, through the devices, which I'm a little bit of a tech nerd.
Will we find out? Stay tuned. He's not sure if he wants to tell us yet. I want to know what his goal is. Am I right? Does he want to be president of Nintendo? Just tell me.
And like just through the memories I have had from when I was a kid, even though I didn't mainly play on Nintendo, that they have just inspired me in a way that I think is just, I'm just living my life happier than I did before. I'm just happier than I was. And I ultimately,
Don't take this the wrong way. Maybe it's just the lighting and because you're sick, but the dark circles around your eyes, actually just in general, you don't look happy. I don't know that I would say that you look like you're happier, and I definitely would not thank Nintendo for making you happy as a person. I don't think Nintendo is responsible for that kind of thing. Don't let me tell you what's up with your life, but
want this channel to be something that one day I can actually partner with Nintendo.
I totally called it. I totally called it. He wants to be the next Reggie, man. He wants to be the next Doug Bowser. I hope he doesn't become Doug Bowser. He was a bad man. Actually, I bet Doug Bowser hated Nintendo and that's why he left so soon. I if I had to make a guess, I would say he was sick and tired of putting out their fires that they kept starting with the Switch 2 and he was like, "All right, this sucks. All I've done is be PR for these people that hate money and hate business. I'm leaving."
To be something that one day I can actually partner with Nintendo. Now I know that Nintendo is, I think everybody knows Nintendo is specific, and to be fair, I like that about them. I actually respect that about them, because in a way, part of the reason it's so difficult for me to do this is because I'm a bit particular myself, and I actually have a problem trying to present myself in any way other than like, oh well, it has to be perfect. But I have to realize, well, okay, I'm down here and I gotta start like this, and that's okay. But I want to work with Nintendo. I would like to work for Nintendo. There was a position that had opened nearby me, and ultimately I did not have the qualifications to beat the person that got it, which is totally understandable and fine. But my dream is that I can go from just being some dude who for just, I don't know, how long have I been gaming? Since I was like 3 or something. Basically, just going from some dude for, someone who's been just playing games for 27 years and just admiring and being like, oh, that's so cool, to somebody who can, in some form or fashion, don't know what it would fully look like, and I'm hoping to improve the vision as I get closer, but I want to be a part of the thing that's bringing me so much joy. And I think that I think is something that people understand. Having something that brings you joy and happiness, and then being like, you know what? I actually would really like to be a part of being able to give someone this same experience in the future with the people that gave it to me in the past.
Can we get a YouTube poop of that real fast? Can we make a YouTube poop of him in the future, in the past? Give it to me in the past, in the future. Give it to them. Future me. See if that's possible.
It would be, my store's closing and I really want to be a Nintendo, I don't know, influencer. I don't even know if I like the terms that people use, like creator. It feels weird because I'm like, I don't know that I'm making anything. I always feel like a fraud, to be honest. The credit goes to anybody else except for me. Like this video you're watching, not me. It's my phone. Credit to my phone for recording this, and I will say, I don't know if it helps. Again, I almost tend to just discredit anything that I think would I guess help me. But if you enjoyed watching this, or something watching this, please like the video and comment down below. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me your thoughts on this. Did the title get you. I don't even know what the title is yet. I don't even really know how to do video titles, but I know you're supposed to make them engaging. I don't know, but just like and subscribe so that you can join me on this journey. I am very serious about this, and I am going to work on basically trying to get a video out every day by bulk recording. And that means I will probably have to try to find a way to record another video tonight. Or not. I don't know. I might use this for tomorrow. If you're watching this tomorrow, then that's what I decided to do. But anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. And
Oh, it's over.
I will see you in the next one. Adios.
No. No, don't leave. Please. If you don't know what you're making, what are you making? It's important to have a vision for when you... That is gonna be me subscribing. I hope that it gets get a stream card. Psh, brother. That's not how that works. Get a PC. Get a PC and then emulate Breath of the Wild. Because you can play Nintendo games on PC. Dude, I could watch these all day long. I hope that he doesn't become the next Kobanemani 456. Because if you guys know the tragedy of Kobanemani 456, well, then you know. And if you don't, then well, it's a rabbit hole to go down for sure. I didn't watch those videos before I made this video, and now I've got like almost 2 hours of content to go and edit. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow because it's 2 in the morning now, way past my bedtime. If there was any takeaway from this video, then I think it's just refreshing to see somebody start a YouTube channel. I think everybody should start a YouTube channel. And if you haven't started a YouTube channel, then go and start one. And upload a 30-second video of you saying something that you like to do. Share with us some stuff, you know? Talk about what you're excited for. Talk about what you're not excited for. You know, make a video and bask in the light of seeing yourself on the internet. If there was anything else to get from this video, it's that Nintendo is an evil corporation and they've ruined this man's life.